Okay, another thing I did was to run these wires pretty close. You'll see them on the forum, talk about that. It does affect the tone. The same on this one. Try and keep it constant. Here's the last shot at the top. I used a 10 Henry, forgot what they're called, choke in fact. The tubes are these ones. So finally, here it is, the finished amp. There's been lots of problems on the way, some which were my own, self-generated stuff. Problems where lack of information, all sorts of things really. Things that I changed that really I think for the better, such as the likes of that there. That choke. It's a 10 Henry choke, and the original was 7. It does have a tendency to make the sound a bit smoother in my opinion. That's something you might want to consider at some stage. I've got the quality tubes in there now. Turn this around a bit. Here we go. On this one we got TAD 6L6 WGC. They were within about 2 or 3 volts on the bias because they were boards to match pair and all the rest of it, so they came up quite nicely. What I also have is in this socket, it's a Philips, what's the number? It's a 5751, which I think's same as an ECC 83 12AX7 type of thing. And over in these other two, I've got a couple of 12X7 WA-C, I think they are. Don't know what the difference is, but there they are. Again, TAD stuff, quite nice, work well, don't fail. Spot on really. And here's the final shots of inside the amp. Things I had trouble with were, let me just straighten that up, nice and straight. Things I had trouble with included, let's think about it, these boards down here. What you need to do when you fit these boards is be very careful you don't over solder on one of the joints, because if you do that, what happens is the solder makes a ball behind the board and makes the board stick up, and if you tighten it up, you know, like I was saying, if you tighten it up too far, any of those boards there, or indeed any of these boards down here, or indeed, no, that's all there is. Yeah, any of those, you end up with trouble. But basically, the soldering down here, what I did is slacked off all the boards, moved the boards away, took a look at the back, removed the excess solder, and refitted the boards. I initially left them loose. Because the problem I was getting was, they said, or at least Nick said, related to probably the boards. So what I did was remove the solder, leave them loose, and try the amp. Yeah, it made diddly squat difference, no difference at all. So, you know, you might want to get the joints a bit nicer, but at the end of the day, a little bit of excess solder I didn't think mattered. It didn't solve a bean for me. Okay, so this error I was getting was like the amp would play fine for a while, and then basically you'd get, if you switch your Strat into you know, the neck pickup and played lots of bass, you'd get the bass break up, and then what would happen is you'd lose the volume to about 2% of what it was, and it'd be dead clean. So first thing I looked at was all the grounds. That one was completely redone. That one was redone. These down here were redone. These were redone here. Anyway, basically all the grounds. I also tightened this thing up just for a matter of course, because once it had been warm it had gone slack. Didn't cure a thing. So I then moved on after tightening these other boards, doing all that stuff. Oh yeah, there was another one. There was another one we did. Oops. Okay, there was another one we did, and that was real soldered as well.